He's thinking about it. Maybe going to go down there, maybe not. He's like, there's something new. I don't like it. Gonna go back over here. Hey everybody, it's Jack and Dan.
And today, we're gonna show you how we made these awesome avatar rocks in my bridge tanks.
Yeah, check those out, man. Basically what we did is we found these little rocks online kind of during the virus situation. And they were super cheap. It was like buy one, get one free. And they were about $7 or $8 each, I think. Or buy one, get one 50% off. So it was like, I think 11 or 12 bucks for both of these. And people have seen these. These are pretty popular. But what we're going to do is we're going to tie them from a string and have them hang as an avatar rock. But we wanted to put some plants on them like this, specifically blue plants that would match the scenery and the whole setup of the tank. Jack has found working with the glue gun pretty interesting, huh, buddy?
Yeah, it's fun.
You did it at a science class kind of camp you took this summer too, right?
Yes, I did.
Built some stuff. So basically we just fill up one of the holes and then we kind of shove it in there and hold it in there, and then we usually shoot a little bit extra in there. What you have to be careful of is the end of that glue gun gets so hot that it'll actually melt the plants. So
You do not want to touch the black part.
Obviously, don't touch it.
You just want to touch the trigger. That's why.
And then usually what we do is we shoot a little extra in the hole there just to make sure it's holding in the base. And it's kind of cool because if you put them in these little crevices, you can't really see the base. It just looks like the plant's kind of coming out. And again, a lot of people would say, well, there's blue plants. It looks so artificial. But that's the theme of Jack's tank. It's really like a blue and white kind of tank.
Yeah, I wanted it to be like Arctic kind of theme, like ice and water kind of thing.
White, blue, there's a little green in these, but we thought these plants were so cheap, like 50 cents each, we just grabbed like 10 of them.
It's my imagination, so.
Yeah, way to go.
Looks cool.
Each one of them splits into two, so we actually then have 20 of these things, and they only ended up costing $0.25 a piece. So for 25 cents a piece, that's $2.50 each to make all the plants on these rocks. It's like, come on. And then the rocks themselves with the sale only cost $6 or $7. So this total cost of this whole entire avatar rock is going to float in the middle of his bridge tank. It's like, $8 or $9. I mean, you can't beat it. The aluminum was only a couple dollars, and the string was only, obviously hardly anything because you get thousands of feet of it. So yeah, total cost of both of these is then going to end up being somewhere around 20, 22 bucks for a really awesome effect. And they're quite large. I mean, you can see next to my hand, these are not tiny by any means. So it's going to give, the fish are going to be able to swim right up underneath it. You're not going to see the bottom because we're going to hang it, and it's going to be relatively low. We're just going to leave the bottom open, so the turtles can still dig in the sand like they like to do. So it's going to be really cool that they're going to be able to go inside there and hang out and through the crevices. And it's going to give them a really awesome effect. We've kind of couldn't decide what we wanted to do in there. This is going to work out really neat, I think. So Jess going to keep working on that.
I can't wait to see how these turn out in the tank. I'm really excited to see what they look like.
Yeah, I think they're going to look super cool, man.
Yeah.
So one of the issues we are running into is trying to bracket these and connect them to the top to hold them up. Is we have the bridges on the sides of them, so we couldn't go from this side, couldn't go a long way. We'd be hitting the bridge and it would have to go off to the side, which wouldn't center it. And we have these pieces of plexiglass in here now, which we're going to be showing you in a future video how we made those. We're just kind of in the middle of doing two things at once to this. These are going to be ultimately holding some plants and vines that are going to go down these tanks. So we couldn't go this way, we had to go this way. Well, these tanks, because they have sand in them, have hang on the back filters instead of another gravel filter like the middle tank that has gravel. So because of that, we had to make this bracket go right into the filter, which wasn't a huge problem, but the problem is the water would then run down this, and it would hit this and kind of run down into the tank, but I was fearful that it might overflow a little bit and then ultimately run out of the tank. So that would be bad. So what we did is we took some of the bottoms of these little blue plants, little weighted bottoms, and we glued them up here so that, and you can kind of see here, if I hold it up close here and take the top off actually, I just put that, glued it to the bracket so that the water coming out of the filter here basically hit that, kind of like a dam kind of situation, and then just ran down with the rest of the water from the filter. So it's not even really that noticeable. If you put this little guy back on here, it's not even really that noticeable. Doesn't really disturb the stream much. These are a little low right now because we're working on them, but usually they're a little more full and then you can't really hear or see as much at all. So anyway, I'm going to show you how we did that real quick. But that was a little bit of just an obstacle we had to overcome. Wasn't a big deal. We took it to great granddad's old grinding grinding wheel there and just ground it down so it wasn't sharp. And I got these sanded down super easy. A little piece of sandpaper. Gonna scuff up this aluminum, gonna glue these guys on. I'll let them cure for a few days, just like those. That's sitting on there real good. Then we took the drill, little drill there, drill a little hole in here for a line to come through. These are done. So now we're gonna drill a hole in the top of here so that it can hang down from the brace. Okay, so we drilled a little hole in this guy. We're just gonna take this line, we're gonna push it down through, and when it comes down the other side, we're going to tie it around this guy, put some of the glue on it to hold it, and then that'll be the line that comes up to the brace. So we took a little, actually just an old chip clip, and clipped it while we're tying, so we tie the end, and we're letting this dry. I'm gonna let that dry for quite, although it's pretty hard. And then we're gonna lower it down in there. That little thing is stopping the water from running down. It goes right across there. If we have to take them out, we'll simply just lift this whole piece of metal out and lift it right out the top of the tank like that. And then we can put it back down and set it in there. If I have to change the filter or anything like that, or if we have to work on the filter, we can take it out, turn it sideways, set it across. Even though there's gonna be plants here, we can set it across here temporarily. And then, if we have to clean or fix the filter, which we rarely have to do because we use the sponges on the end. And as you can see, that tube remains incredibly clear and clean, and so does the filter. So really all we have to do is every couple of weeks, we just take those babies off, rinse them real good, put them back on. The filters hardly ever need clean, which is why we started using those. Plus because we have the babies in here so many times, like the Plecos and everything. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, from a maintenance standpoint, obviously it's gonna add a little extra maintenance. It's gonna be a really super cool effect. So that's where it is now. After this dries, we're gonna let that go, and it's gonna be down lower. So the cool part is, it's gonna be low enough when we end up putting the vines in here through these holes, the roots are gonna take up the top. And then this is gonna be down at the bottom, but it's not gonna take up any of the sand. So the turtles will be able to go into the sand, do their thing, but the fish will be able to enjoy all these crevices and plants without using up ground space. Basically, it's just an avatar rock. And honestly, that string is pretty hard to see. All right, we're all done in there, and all of a sudden this curious guy's like, I'm gonna come over here and check that out. They love being in the bridge. They just hang out in the bridge. Isn't that funny? There he goes. Come on, dude. He's gonna be the first one to check it out. Now he's changing his mind. He's like, no, there's something new over there. I don't like it. He went all the way back. All right. Well, it must have scared him. It's a big scary avatar rock. He'll go over there eventually. That's funny. All right, so got all the drapes closed and everything now. I mean, I really dig it, man. It really looks cool. It really looks like it's floating. Gives the turtles all kind of space. I mean, how do you like it, man?
I really like how it floats. You can't even tell that it's on like a string.
A string. You can barely see it.
Just like, and I like how the plants.
I bet you at night, when we get these new background lights hooked up and these top lights are off, it's just going to be floating there. It's going to look so cool, man.
Yeah, I like it. And I like how the waterfall goes. It looks natural.
Yeah, very cool. I'll tell you what, for how incredibly inexpensive these were, man, did they come out cool.
And it's gonna be cool when the Plecos go inside there and stuff, because it's gonna look like it's gonna look like they're flying.
Yeah. Yeah, I like your idea to make them a little different. This one being a little lower is...
That way they look more like natural. If they're like
Yeah.
different, that way they look like they're floating.
Yeah, yeah, I like it. It looks cool. Again, we can always just twist that bar, raise them up or down anytime we want. Man, that's neat. I can't wait to see these. The turtles are still kind of under here sleeping. We had these lights on purpose. Normally they don't turn on by now, and so they're kind of on a schedule. Now, kind of like we figured, these Plecos got into here. It's a little bit hard to see inside, but you can see if I zoom in here, the bristle. Oh, he moved. Let's see if he went down here. Let's see if I can see up underneath. Ah, there he is. There's one of the, looks like one of the male albino bristlenose. So kind of like we suspected, the inhabitants of these avatar rocks are most likely going to be these Plecos. They're probably going to migrate a little more over to these. Oh, there you can see his nose there again. But we think that primarily they're going to be the inhabitants of these, and most likely use them for breeding as well. Because there's, you know, and I think that'll work out really good. So one of the females probably make her way over here, and ultimately that's going to be a big Pleco breeding house, most likely. So that's super cool. I don't know if there's one in the other one. Let's go take a look. Go over this bridge. There's one of the other guys. He hasn't gone and checked it out yet. Looks like the gourami's over here. Checking it out a little bit. I don't know if a Pleco's in this one yet. Let's see if we can see in the bottom. Not yet. Unless they're just a place where I can't see them. So yeah, really cool. It kind of gives them that, you know, cave kind of atmosphere, but it really makes a cool decoration. Apologize for the reflection, but it's like the middle of the day. I did turn the lights on though, so we could kind of see in there, but it's gonna kind of be a little bit of light in there, but mostly dark in there. Really came out cool. Really digging them. Really digging them, especially hanging a little bit lower like this. Digging them, digging them, digging them. We'll wait and see what happens. We'll do an update, and next update's going to be, we're doing some different background lights. We took the old background lights off that were behind these. We used to have like blue Christmas lights. Took them all off. Just wanted to change it up. It had been on there for quite some time. This is a side view, by the way. Pretty cool, huh? It's cool because you can see the shadow, you know, like it's floating. And you just can barely see that fish line. I mean, it's almost unnoticeable. It's really neat. Really neat. Almost wish I would have made them bigger, but because of the turtles and that, I want to give them room to swim around them. And anyway, background lights we're going to be doing, and putting in the plants. We're going to be taking a whole bunch of strawberry vines from our yard, putting them in here, and they're going to be draping down the sides. These wires will all be gone after we hook up the lights, but we just had them up here for that. So there's going to be vines down all these sides going down on to the desks here and the dressers. So it'll be really, really neat. Really cool. Yeah, this guy didn't take long. He's in there right away. Oh, there he is again. So yeah, probably get some females going on over here. And really neat, really neat. This guy's just chilling. See, this is one of the main reasons we did this, guys, because if you look, they're still able to have this sand, so the fish can still have an awesome hiding place, and, you know, a place where they can breed and hide and sleep and all that. And it just moves ever so slightly. We really thought it would be twirling around and moving around, but kind of once it finds its place, its little happy place, the filter kind of moves it, but it just kind of doesn't really move much, surprisingly. So these guys, oh look, he wants to take a nap. Look at his, oh, I gotta show this. Oh, he just pulled in, he was stretching. Sometimes they do that. I think I lost focus a little bit. They'll pull in like that. Isn't that funny? It's almost like a reverse yawn, and then they'll come out and then they'll yawn. It's like stretching. So funny. We'll be doing another update on these guys and how they're doing. Yeah, he so wants to sleep right now. He'll probably bury himself here in a minute. Take his afternoon nap. But yeah, oh, there's his tail sticking out the end. You can see it now. You can see it now. Really cool. It's working out just like we thought it would. So anyway, guys, let us know what you think. If you've never tried anything like this, you could definitely try it. We recommend it. They do make the kind of avatar rocks that are styrofoam that stick to the bottom, but we were afraid, and we've used those before, we were afraid the turtle would hit it, mess it up, or cause it to come unhooked, you know, and then it would just end up floating up. The other thing is, you know, they'd be moving it around. Plus, they don't come with little caverns and stuff in there like this, so that the plecos and stuff can go in there. So, you know, we thought this was, for the price, a way better option to do. I mean, what's the difference if there's a string from the top or a string from the bottom? For us, it made more sense to do it this way. So we're really glad how these came out. And let me pull this drape just to get a little, you can see how it just kind of slightly turned. Just super, super pleased with how these came out. Love the way the plants look. They all seem to be anchored in there really good. Not having any kind of problems with the glue. And really like how the blue, you know, matches the gravel and everything. So when we get the lights and the vines going on this setup is just going to be crazy at that point. Crazy. Let me get the whole thing in here. So if you haven't seen the other videos we've done about the other lights we had and how we put on the strip lights and the under gravel filter and the bridges and everything, we have a whole playlist of our aquariums. Check them out. And of course our wall of fame and everything else. So yeah, check those out. If you're kind of new to our channel, you kind of see how we built this whole thing and many of our other tanks. And we'll be doing an update soon with new lights and new plants and all kind of other cool stuff. So take care, guys. Bye-bye.